Storm clouds hovered over the Cowboys in Charlotte.
Runs left and is sacked and fumbles the ball. And that's going to just about do it for the Dallas Cowboys today.
Is the offense really that bad?
Simply just gotta play better.
We're all a work in progress.
We believe in the guys we have.
Nobody's hitting the panic button.
Can the defense really be that good?
Rushed hit. Down he goes. DeMarcus Lawrence.
We're going to have to continue to improve and hopefully make more plays this week.
That's the name of the game. It's takeaways. That's the 8-point difference right there.
The hated Giants are in town with a new toy.
They've got themselves a terrific weapon.
He's a running back just like we face a lot of them.
It's an NFC East showdown on Cowboys Game Day.
The sun is out, I think, on a beautiful Sunday morning at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, less than 9 hours away from kickoff in Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys and the New York Giants. And welcome to Cowboys Game Day inside the CBS 11 studios. It's week 2 of this NFL season. Bill Jones, along with the Pro Football Hall of Famer, the Manster Randy White, and Keith Russell, as the Cowboys try to bounce back. And I think we need a game tonight. We needed a game like on Thursday night this week with all the negativity around this place, don't you think?
Well, Bill, yeah, I think we need to get another game out there and come away with a win. That's going to be the main objective today, I'm sure.
You know, the Cowboys have never started 0-2 under Jason Garrett. I don't expect it to change today. I want the Cowboys to come out there and smack the Giants around. I know Dak is no longer on social media. He's not playing that game anymore, folks. He doesn't care what you have to say, nor do we, Randy.
No, we don't care what. I don't know how do you get to social media anyway?
And you don't want to start 0-2, 12% chance to make the playoffs if you start 0-2, and we got a battle of 2 0-1 teams. By the way, right off the bat, I got a green tie on. A shout out to the Mean Green of North Texas, who go on the road to Fayetteville and win 44-17 over the Arkansas Razorbacks. And Jerry Jones needs a win tonight after what he saw with his Arkansas Razorbacks yesterday up in Fayetteville. And let's start off now and as the Cowboys try to bounce back after that inauspicious start to the season last week at Carolina. As we suspected last Sunday morning, it was not an ideal matchup for the Cowboys' interior offensive linemen. The Cowboys had trouble getting the ground game going, playing behind the chains much of the afternoon. And you don't win many games when you get sacked 6 times, but during a week where the outside world was exclaiming, the sky is falling, the Cowboys say it's no time to panic.
Missed a lot of plays. Simply just gotta play better, and that's what this week's about. That's what going forward, and fortunate enough to have 50 more games to do that. So just moving forward, trying to get better this week.
Just looking to be way better than last week. Can't beat ourselves. We gotta come out. We gotta establish that run, and we gotta get some momentum early. We gotta start fast.
We're still very positive, and we know what we have in here, and we're, you know, nobody's hitting the panic button.
It's just a couple things we got to clean up, and I think some plays will go our way, and, you know, it's a different outcome. And luckily enough, you know, we got a game this Sunday.
All right, after all the negativity this week, it's time to turn it positive a little bit. Or can we turn it positive after what we saw last week? How big a game is this for Dak Prescott, Randy? Was that just one game, or is it time to panic?
No, it's not time to panic. I tell you, just that whole unit offensively has got to improve. They've got to get better. Dak, you know, it's hard to get in a rhythm when you're getting sacked 6 times in a football game. And, you know, a lot of comment on the offensive line. This guy, that's the toughest group on the football field. These guys have got to play together to get to learn each other's moves and what they're doing, and that's going to happen, and they're going to improve. I looked at those sacks that Connor gave up, and, you know, the guy ran way around 635 to get back. To get
the loop.
He ran a whole loop. So, you know, I don't think it was as bad as what everybody was thinking it was.
I think if the Cowboys go into the fourth quarter scoreless again this week, I'm panicking. I'm panicking. It's time to panic if they go into the fourth quarter scoreless. They have too many players. I mean, I know the wide receivers are a little shaky right now, but between Dak and Zeke, that dynamic duo, it's too good to be scoreless going into the fourth quarter. You got to put some points up. When I go back to 2016, Bill, they came out of the gates in almost every game and they punched the other team in the mouth, to use Randy's words. They have to do that again. They have to start tonight. They have to start strong. They can't be behind the chains.
Well, one of the troubling troubling things, I thought, in the 2-minute offense at the end of the game last week. They get the ball back with 1:51 left, had a timeout, and were unable to complete a pass. Here's an example, Randy, of what went on the second play on this possession. You got 3 receivers that wind up together on the sideline.
Well, yeah, and you know, you don't want this to happen. Your quarterback scrambling. These receivers have got to help your quarterback get open, stop, and run back to the middle of the field so he can get a shot to throw a pass and make a first down. So, but those are all things that are correctable. I mean, that's not the end of the world right there, but that's something that, you know, you don't play the preseason games. And now you got to use the real season games as learning games. So now they're learning. They'll improve that. And this week, hopefully, that won't happen.
Well, Randy, let me ask you about those sacks. You brought up Connor Williams, the rookie starting at left guard. That was a very difficult matchup for him last week against Carolina. But what are you seeing? He says it was basically bad technique on his part.
Well, it was. If you watch the play, he got top heavy as the guard was going, making that loop. If he'd just kept his feet under him, kept his hands on him, and kept pushing him, Dak would have been able to step up, and he'd have just rolled him around the quarterback.
There you take a look at it.
Yeah, look, watch. He loses his feet, and he falls flat in his face. What's that tell you? That tell you he's too heavy. Now, this, well, you know, when you get run over, when they come up here, I think on this one he's getting bull rush. You know, your quarterback got to move a little bit, and you got to just hunker down.
Well, and we knew coming into the league, the Cowboys knew that a 296-pound offensive guard who's never played guard in college. He was a left tackle at Texas. There were going to be some issues starting off in this league.
Right. Well, and that's good. But, you know, there's some strong points to having a guy that's very mobile, can move, can pull, can go, you know, and we'll see today in this 3-4 defense. They got that big guy in the middle, Harrington, Snacks and Dax, whatever. Yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, we'll see how he works out working in there against him and sliding up and blocking them linebackers. So look for him to have a good day and come back.
One thing I'm not looking forward to is seeing all that shuttling with the wide receivers. Can someone explain to me, is this the 4x100 in the Olympics? What are we doing? Why is one wide receiver in on every play, the next guy's out, the next guy's in, 2 guys in, 2 guys out? I don't understand it. I know you explained it to me in the newsroom, Bill. I don't understand. What am I watching? What am I watching?
Well, I think the Cowboys are being creative with their offense, okay? When you want them to be creative, and what that means is when you have different personnel groupings, then the defense has to match it. The problem is they didn't execute football plays last week against Carolina. They need to execute plays. All right, you brought up Snacks Harrison, and just pull back the curtain a little bit. Randy actually stopped by a donut shop and brought us a box full of donuts today, and he shared it with everybody, okay?
Right.
Here's the difference between the Manster and Snacks Harrison. Snacks Harrison would bring a dozen donuts to work, and he wouldn't share with anyone. No, he would eat all of the donuts, right?
He'd have got 2 boxes, ate one before he got there, and one when he got to the place.
One for later.
But that's why he is such a big guy in the middle of that defense for the Giants.
Yeah, he's 355 pounds and probably one of the better run protectors in the league up there. So we'll see how it works out against him. Looney's a tough, scrappy competitor, and he's going to give him all he can handle. So that'll be an interesting matchup I'm going to watch today.
I'm going to watch Landon Collins, the safety, the talker, who said they're not worried about Dak, Randy, and Bill. He said, bring it on, Dak. And Dak said, challenge accepted. Landon Collins said, we got to stop Zeke. And Dak said, challenge accepted.
I like the way Dak responded to that question. And if you look at Dak Prescott in his career going back to Mississippi State, whenever he has been challenged, he has accepted the challenge and has come through in a very big way. We'll see if that continues tonight. Against the Giants defense, they've invested heavily in their defense, but they've made the switch now to a 3-4 defense. So Snacks Harrison plays the middle there, but they've got a good secondary led by Landon Collins. And then Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins had an interception last week as well. You like that nickname, Randy?
Snacks or Jackrabbit?
Jackrabbit. I like Snacks for the big guy.
All right, coming up here on Cowboys Game Day, the Cowboys are happy to be playing at home. Should they be? But first, time for our Game Day trivia question. Tonight begins the Cowboys' 10th season playing at AT&T Stadium. Since its debut in 2009, what is the Cowboys' regular season record at the stadium? We'll have the answer after the break. Snacks, Jackrabbit, and we got the Manster here.
With donuts.
Who nicknamed it?
Our Cowboys Game Day trivia question. We asked you, since AT&T Stadium opened in 2009, what is the Cowboys' regular season record at the stadium? The answer, 37 and 35.
You get in front of all of them in Dallas, and just that energy is different. I think there's nothing like it.
You dream of nights like this. Sunday night football, all the lights.
Excited to get back at home and play a game.
It's Sunday night football. It's what you grew up watching.
Some of us grew up watching Monday Night Football, but this generation, it's Sunday Night Football, and it's the Cowboys and the Giants at AT&T Stadium tonight. It is a 7:20 kickoff, but what about this supposed home field advantage? There has not been a home field advantage. Can't believe, by the way, already we're going into our 10th season at AT&T Stadium, and take you back to that first home game in the regular season back September 20th, 2009. It was against these same New York Giants, and Eli Manning, a 33-31 Giants win over the Cowboys. Randy, why haven't they been able to establish home field advantage in this stadium?
Well, that's a good question, Bill. I know back when, a long time ago, when the old Texas Stadium was around, we would get an advantage only because in the second half, the sun beat down on that other team in the preseason, in them early season games, and they got wore out, and that gave us advantage. Why they don't win more games at home, I don't know.
And Keith, Eli Manning has made it his own home away from home, starting with that game when he autographed the visitors' locker room wall there.
Yeah, Eli Manning has shown no fear coming into AT&T Stadium. He's played well, you know, over the years here in Arlington. I expect the Cowboys defense to bring the heat tonight, but I think the home field advantage, I think it's overblown. I think it's based on what team you have. You go back to 2 years ago, the Cowboys were great at home. Last year, yeah, they weren't good at home. This year, we're going to see if they're good at home. Seattle years ago wasn't good at home. In their Super Bowl runs, they were good at home. I think it's based on your team. I don't think it's based on a stadium, Randy.
Well, I don't think the stadium has anything to do with it either, but I always enjoyed playing in front of the home crowd. I mean, you don't have to travel. There's advantages to that. But then on the other hand, I enjoyed playing in Philadelphia and Washington to go in those hostile environments where you knew everybody else hated you. And when you could hear a pin drop in that stadium, you knew you were kicking their rear end. So that was fun too. So I just enjoyed playing football. I don't care where I played it.
Problem is at AT&T Stadium, a lot of the visiting crowd is in the stands at this stadium. All right, coming up on Cowboys Game Day, is the Cowboys defense really as good as they looked in Carolina? Plus, DeMarcus Lawrence is ready to pin back his ears and go after Eli. He calls out the Giants quarterback next on Cowboys Game Day.
Okay.
It's time for the Nissan On the Road Report. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Okay.
Super Bowl champ, so you can't sit here and talk, you know, bad about Eli, but then again, he is a pocket quarterback. He's going to look down his targets, and once his targets ain't there, then, I mean, he's got to take the sack. Sometimes it's smart football, and sometimes, you know, I feel like it's fear. I mean, take it how you want.
DeMarcus Lawrence this week talking about a two-time Super Bowl champion in Eli Manning. Randy, what do you think when you hear that stuff?
Well, I don't think he's afraid, but I used to always tell him how great they were the week before the game. I'd tell him, heck, yeah, all even belong in the Hall of Fame. You're a great player, the best one I play against all year. And then you go out and try and kick him in the butt. But you know,
even Mark May. You say nice things about Mark May?
No, I didn't say anything nice about Mark. No,
that was the exception.
There's one exception to the rule.
Yeah.
One exception to every rule. All right, as we dig deeper on this Dallas defense, DeMarcus Lawrence off to a very nice start last week, and this Dallas defense as a whole. What do you see out of D-Law in this defense?
Well, I think they got a unit that can put pressure on the quarterback. These guys, they had a little tough time with that option last week, but overall, I think this defense is much improved over what we had last year, and I look for some big things happening for them as far as pressuring the quarterback, disrupting his timing and stopping the running game, which they're going to have their hands full today. But I think this group is up to the challenge. We'll see.
Worthy of the nickname, the Hot Boys?
Yes. Let's hope they get scalding hot today.
All right. You're endorsing the nickname the Hot Boys.
No, I said I hope they get scalding hot today.
All right. It looks like they won't have Randy Gregory. He's been in concussion protocol throughout the week. But getting pressure on Eli Manning, it's easier said than done. Even though he is a pocket passer, even with a new offense this year, he gets the ball out quickly.
Yeah, Eli's an excellent quarterback. And if we don't pressure Eli today, he could have 350 yards easy. He's the kind of quarterback that you better get on him, and he's got some good receivers out there. He's got that Beckham, and he's going to be out there. So we can't give him time to sit back there, or he's going to make a lot of things happen.
People always act like Eli Manning is this skittish dude in the pocket. People forget those Super Bowl performances when he shook off the entire Patriots team and launched it down the field to the guy who trapped it on his helmet. I mean, Eli Manning has guts. He may not be the most mobile, but he does have guts. And I'm not going to take anything away from him.
He will turn it over, though. As far as interceptions go, takeaways are a big key for this Dallas defense in this game. And, in fact, Miles Jack had an interception return for a touchdown for Jacksonville last week.
Yeah, they're huge. Eli, yeah, we've known that about Eli. You get pressure on him, he'll throw it up for grabs. He's not afraid to throw that ball downfield. But, you know, another thing that he's got this year, he's got another weapon that he hasn't had in the past. He's never had a running back in recent history that's been anywhere close to who they have at running back.
All right, so what do you think of this Dallas run defense? Malik Collins didn't play in the preseason. He played very well last week. And we saw the missed tackles from Sean Lee a week ago. I guarantee you he will have a bounce-back week this week. He always plays well against the Giants.
Yes, and Sean Lee, if you watch those plays, he was off balance. He was trying to make tackles in awkward positions. I mean, Sean Lee just don't miss tackles like that, and I don't think we'll see that anymore. But you know, it's going to be a challenge for him, and I think these guys are up to the challenge. I mean, they're going to have to pressure Eli, and then they're going to have to stop that run, because what the Giants are going to do is they're going to try to run the football, make it third and short situations where Eli can come back and start boom. They're playing Dallas Cowboy football.
Exactly. I was going to say that's the Cowboys' recipe for success.
That's what they're trying to duplicate. Exactly.
The one thing I'm afraid of is Saquon Barkley. I'm afraid of Saquon Barkley because he is unlike any running back. Even as a rookie, he's unlike any running back in the NFL. I think Zeke is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Le'Veon Bell, who's not playing, one of the best running backs in the NFL. Todd Gurley, one of the best running backs. But none of those guys can be trapped behind the line of scrimmage 10 yards and still go 80. I think Zeke can go 80 if he's through the line of scrimmage. Saquon can be trapped 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and still go 80. So, Randy, they got to finish today.
Well, that means everybody's got to go to the football. You're going to have to gang tackle. When it's a running play, you can't assume that somebody's going to make a play. Everybody's got to be, in their mind, think, okay, I've got to make this play. And if you get 11 guys out there doing that, you know, now you got a chance to stop running back like this from going anywhere.
Giants are different with the big running back. They took second overall, and they now have Odell Beckham Jr. back. And the big difference for the Cowboys this week as opposed to last week, they have some explosive weapons on their offense led by Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, and this Beckham, you know, he's a Sunday Night Football. He's a showman. He likes to show off.
One-handed catch.
Yeah, so he's going to try to show out here in this game tonight, and it's going to be a big challenge. We're going to see how these defensive backs react. Last week, I don't think Carolina gave them much of a challenge down the football field. They didn't have to, but tonight, I think you're going to see some deep balls. So we get a chance for them turnovers you're talking about, Bill. When you put them up in the air, you know, we got just as much chance to get them as the other team.
And they've got other weapons at the receiver position, of course, in Sterling Shepard. And then their tight end, Evan Ingram, can also make some big plays. Do the Cowboys get their first win of the season? The Manster has another bold prediction coming up next.
The on-time delivery is sponsored by UPS. Future You. Apply now at upsjobs.com.
Cowboys fans hope DeMarcus Lawrence delivers again today against the Panthers. The defensive end logged 5 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, a quarterback pressure, and a fumble recovery.
On this day 11 years ago, the Cowboys defense forced 5 turnovers in an impressive road win. Dallas intercepted Trent Green 4 times, including 2 picks by Anthony Henry. It was the second of 5 straight wins to open the Wade Phillips era, as the Cowboys beat the Dolphins 37-20 on September 16, 2007. It's time for the Nissan Drive to Success. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Here's a look at the NFC East standings, sponsored by Nissan, as the Eagles and Redskins sit atop the standings. Philly plays at Tampa today, while the Redskins continue their easy schedule to start the year. They were at Arizona last week. They got Indy today. And then, of course, the Cowboys and the Giants. A crossroads game in week 2 of this season. Last minute or so here of Cowboys Game Day, as we are now about 8.5 hours away from kickoff at AT&T Stadium. A 7:20 kickoff. Bill Jones, Randy White, and Keith Russell. We need a key to a Cowboys win today. Let's start with you, Keith.
I'm going to say the Cowboys have to score first. Simply put, they have to score first, and they have to score often. I need them to have some points in the first quarter. That can't drag on.
What do you think, Randy?
Hold the Giants under 20 points. Pressure Eli Manning. Don't let him come up for air, and we win the football game.
You know, that's a great, both of those are great keys, but the Cowboys' blueprint for success is to get ahead in the game.
Yes,
and
exactly.
To get ahead in the game, that changes everything as far as the rest of the game is concerned. So now, bold prediction time. Let's go with Keith first, because I don't know where Keith's going.
Here's where I'm going. Look. That doesn't even exist today. It's all about your Dallas Cowboys.
And I know where Randy's going. He picked him to go 16-0 last week. Okay, you missed out last week, but what about this week?
Well, the helmet, cowboy helmet.
All right.
That's the one. Do I have to pick,
your cowboy
do I have
helmet.
to pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to put on your cowboy helmet? I don't think it'll fit.
Yeah, it won't fit me.
Yeah.
But we got.
Right. We've got the Texans and Titans at noon, Patriots and Jaguars at 3:25, and see you tonight after the game on CBS 11 News.